Conversiones urgentissime, the most urgent conversions. Isu Deus. Odie, odie, odie. Who is like God? Today, today, today. Means conversion. Today, today, today. Not some other day. This is said by this saint, the last to whom we pray. Saint Expedit. 1. Part B. Preparing for the warning, the material evidences for Marian apparitions based on primary sources. Let's say that you or someone you know have a problem with the end times and preparation for the warning, so you or that person automatically reject everything about the end times, and for sure that the idea of warning or anything related is rejected. So such conviction can be considered a theory, a kind of belief, from which particular conclusions are drawn out for any question about the end times, warning, chastisement, the end of the world, the end of human history, etc., as false things. Such way of thinking is called deduction, when the conviction is in the person and the person thinks that the conviction is the truth. So all particular conclusions will be drawn from such theory in this sense. Anything that does not agree with the conviction is automatically rejected and called false. A four-step false deduction with regard the end times. First step. There is no such thing like the end times, warning, chastisement, the end of the world, or something related about what we should think now. It means that you belong to one of the following categories of people. A. The world is purely material and it will last endlessly or many billions of years, so we don't have to think about the above stuff at all. Besides, all spiritual stuff are nothing but just invention or imagination. If have the 2030 reset, then the artificial intelligence and eradicate illness and prolong races of extraterrestrials will help us in all that, so maybe we move to other planets and solar systems, or reach a kind of technology for life prolongation practically to eternity. C. If the above stuff have to happen, who knows when it would be and in which way? People talking about such stuff are just conspiracy theorists or false prophets, and nobody should listen to them. D. This way, and it is not that the Christian God will make the changes. Another God will act as a living being, or the universe as a living being, or we will change to another parallel universe, etc., etc. Many possible theories. E. Whatever will happen, it's not my business. I have no time nor interest for that. My goals are other: making money, enjoying, traveling, career, studies, etc. I realize and won't think about some F. Yes, knows when exactly it will be. The church does not talk that people should prepare for all that, and even less says that it will happen very soon. That is why we should forget about. Neither world leaders or governments talk about such stuff, so there is no official talk about the end times and related stuff. All about what public people talk official are wars, crises, global warning, etc. Stuff that periodically happen to humanity and are parts of normal human history. G. The above stuff will happen, but who knows when and how exactly. All seers, or most of them, are false, mostly not approved by the church, and besides, we are not obligated to follow private revelations. H. Other possible convictions that lead to rejection of the end times and related stuff, as well as the need for urgent preparations, are possible. Step 2 of deduction. Logical conclusion from step 1. There are no signs of the end times, so we do not have to change our attitude. Whatever happens is the same as before, or at least there are no significant changes in nature, society, and faith that would be considered as the signs of the end times. Step 3. A logical conclusion from Step 2. So-called apparitions, i.e. supernatural messages of any kind, cannot be considered as a kind of signs of the end times. Apparitions are false things, or if they are true, then they are not about the end times, and besides, there are no true material evidences for apparitions, but all is in the form of invented talks, testimonies, and happenings that scientifically cannot be checked. Step 4. As a logical conclusion from Step 3. Since there is no such thing as apparitions, or at least they are not reliable about the end times and similar stuff, then Marian apparitions are of the same nature and value. Besides, Mary from the Bible is just an ordinary woman, and also that people do not come back with messages, or who can talk about death or some other world besides this material world? Anyway, apparitions are false, and Marian apparitions are also false. The logical scheme is the following. First step, no end times, etc. Third step, coming from the second, no apparitions. Fourth step, coming from the third step, no Marian apparitions. And the final conclusion is, we stay the same way. So, this way the story ends with the total denial of all what is necessary to make now. For sure at that, the kind of mental fog, so that they die in ignorance with no time to repent and do other positive changes in life. And I would tell you, or somebody you know, that think that way about. Do all you can while there is some time for that. Count it in months. If you are not a Catholic, become now. If you are a Catholic but far from the church in any sense, come back immediately. If you are doing all well, then you do the detailed analysis to find out what can you improve to meet God soon in warning, and how you can help others to prepare for this encounter. If you are doing all that, then you see that there is just a little time for all of us, and act accordingly for your own good, and to you see that everybody needs an urgent change these days, this week. Not to leave the changes for weeks or months now, because there is no more time for delay. God is coming to put the world in the order. He is the owner and governor of the make all to be beautiful and nice and just wonderful, like nobody has ever seen the world in such a way after the fall of Adam and Eve. Let's continue in the next part.